What's poppin', guys? Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you'll be notified of all my up and coming videos. And lastly, thank you for watching. Now, let's get into it. Child, yesterday was Aretha Franklin's funeral. And let me tell you something. Black folks, when we are at our best, we are definitely loved. Let's get into it. So we had Cicely Tyson, Bill Clinton, Judge Mathis, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, Farrakhan, Whoopi Goldberg, Roland Martin. Obama wasn't there because, from what I understand, he was at McCain's funeral. Okay, and who else was there? And then it was so many heavy hitters in the political arena. I mean, it was just beautiful. Okay, I mean, absolutely beautiful. In the beginning, they had the mayor of Detroit, right? And you know what's funny? I almost forgot that Detroit was where Motown and the Temptations and Smokey Robinson and the black sound originated. I almost forgot that, until I seen Smokey. But I'm gonna want to get to that part. But the mayor had announced that they were going to rename Shane Park to the Aretha Franklin Park. Commendable. She deserves it. Then Governor Snyder, his ass, he was sincere in his words for Aretha Franklin, which I believe, because I believe that she gave a lot of money to Detroit. Okay. But what I need him to be sincere about, I need for him to address that Flint water crisis over there. Something ain't right. And it was hard for me to absorb what he was saying because I was looking at him sideways, Had Faith Hill to do a performance. You know what I appreciate when singers like Faith Hill, who's a country singer, she's a very big deal, come in to pay homage to black singers because Ariana Grande was a performer also, and she did pretty good with Natural Woman. I forgot what Faith Hill sang, but I don't think it was a good song for her. I think she was a little off when she did it, but I think it was commendable whenever white folks go into, a black community to sit down and assimilate themselves into what is synonymous with black Americans. I got to give them kudos for that. But the fact that so many white people were there to give homage to this black woman, what did they say? I think she came from Tennessee originally. Then I think she went to New York, and then she moved to Detroit, and then I think she was here in Atlanta. I'm telling y'all, everybody moved to Atlanta. So then we get to Al Sharpton, where he told one of his stories, where he said that Aretha Franklin had donated to him a very big check. He was so moved by the check that he took the check and framed it. So when he seen Aretha Franklin later on, he was like, "Do you know I framed that check?" She said to him, "I think you need to cash that check, and don't you got a copy of it?" Smokey Robinson, where Smokey, I'ma do you and all that Beijing in your hair. I'm going to do you. You're a very attractive man. Something about you look very, very Vaseline. I'm not mad at you if you, just moisturizing real good and you just walk around with a lot of moisture on your face. Like me, I'm always going to be shiny. You know why? Because I always got the cocoa butter on deck to moisten this face, to keep this face looking young. Okay? Because this is 47, but I plan on, this face looking pretty decent at 72. Okay? But Smokey always looks like very shiny. But I don't know if that Vaseline or I don't know, but I'm gonna F you up for that that Beijing. I said, "Sir, Smokey have got to be all of goddamn 88, and you mean to tell me you got pitch black hair? Boy bang. Let it go. You're an attractive enough man that you don't need to Beijing. You can have white hair and still look good." Shoot, who was that? You see Bell? So then we had the Clark sisters singing "Am I Living in Vain?" They did an excellent job. Then we had Barbara Sampson, who was a part of George W. Bush's administration when Aretha Franklin received the highest civilian award, which was the Presidential Freedom Award, I think it was called. If I'm wrong, guys, y'all know y'all always push it below to correct me. And then we had a speaker, Vanessa Bell Armstrong. She is Vanessa Bell, not a speaker. She sang. I think she sang. Then they acknowledged all the cabinet members that were there, or all the Congress members that were there. Said that it was the haves and the have-nots was Aretha Franklin's favorite show, and they stood up and they paid their homage to Aretha by just saying, her grandchildren came to the podium. I mean, beautiful children. They're gonna miss their grandmother. There is nothing like your grandmother. And then her son tributed a song. He sang "Mercy, Mercy Me." I don't know why he would pick a Marvin Gaye song instead of picking one of his mother's niece. I think Sabrina Owens was her niece, and she gave a summary of Aretha Franklin's life accomplishments. Hey, she was a bad mother sucker. You hear me? Aretha was a bad mother sucker. And let me say this, Aretha Franklin and Tina Turner were absolutely my mom's favorite. That's why, her loss means so much more to me than just just the end of her life on this earth. Just listening to her songs remind me of my mom, because my mother found so much empowerment from Aretha Franklin, which I carried also. Let me tell you something. That song that she has, oh my God, it's a country song. Take me to heart, and I'll always love you, and let nobody make me do wrong. Take me for granted, leaving love unsure. Let me move on. Makes willpower weak, and temptation strong. What song is that, guys? So then we got to Maxine Waters, child. They asked the lovely Maxine to stand up, and we said, hey, together. I wasn't there in the building, but together. I'm sure every black person in the world who was watching this broadcast, child, because it was on every channel. I think it was on BET, TV1, child. If it was black, we was there. I don't even know if it wasn't on Bounce. Bounce. Everybody don't know about Bounce, but child, that thing was everywhere. So then Maxine Waters, they said, together, we got your back. I don't know. But then we get to Shirley Caesar, Tasha Cobb, and Marvin Sapp. Hey, whatever their personal feelings is towards me, I put that aside to recognize their talents. Those are some wonderful singers. They say the best singers are the ones that sing for Jesus, for God, for their beliefs. I would believe that. And, Whitney started in the church. Ding. Aretha started in the church. Ding. Fantasia started in the church. Ding. The best of the best always sings for God. Bill Clinton, he said his words. He talked about how much he loved her and his relationship with her. Shirley Caesar and Tasha Cobb performed again. And then we get to my man, my favorite man. Y'all, you know what? I love Greg Mathis. Then we get to Reverend Holly, who was a friend of hers. I think it was her church back home. And he did such a good job with his tribute and his speech about their relationship. Oh my God, I loved it. Michigan Representative Brenda Lawrence spoke. Miss Fannie Tyler was her right hand man or her right hand woman. Now this is the thing. I don't know if Miss Fanny was her BFF or somebody that she just trusted or what their dynamic was, you know. But it was good to know that she was close to somebody and it was somebody in her life who she trusted. And I really hope that they were childhood friends because trust me, you know, if anything was to happen to blow up in my life, even though I'm almost 50 years old, too many things don't happen for you when you this old. But BFF gonna be there with me. You hear me? BFF and wifey and my sister. Like I said, my team is my wife, my sister, and my BFF. So then we get to Chaka Khan. She's saying, I'm going up a yonder. This is another example of when I was saying, people should have picked a song that best suited their voice because I don't know if Chaka was drunk or high or it just wasn't. But y'all know I'm a huge fan of hers. I am absolutely a huge fan of Chaka Khan. Drunk, high, pissy drunk, high, sleep, naked, whatever. Naked and afraid, whatever. So then we get to Fantasia where she sang Precious Lord. Fantasia, of course, she was like, do you mind me taking off my shoes? I think that's now a ritual for her now. I think when she is getting ready to cut loose or let loose, I think that's a ritual just for her to do. I don't think her taking off her shoes has anything to do with her being ratchet. Well, maybe. Then we had Tyler Perry. He spoke of her. And he talked about how his mom loved Aretha Franklin. Let me tell you something. Your mother always, everybody mothers, if you're over a certain age, loved Aretha Franklin. Okay? Then we had Cicely Tyson. I was kind of confused as to what she was doing, but I think she was doing a monologue. People was like, was she talking? What was she doing, singing a word? But I think she was doing a monologue because that's what she did. That's what she does best. Like the singers who sang, their contribution was a song. I believe that Cicely Tyson's contribution was a Bishop monologue. Paul Morton and Yolanda Adams, Mary Don't You Weep. Hey, that Yolanda Adams, a radio host by the name of Mildred Gaddis. She spoke about the influences of Aretha Franklin. Isaiah Thomas, the original one, the one who played for the Detroit Pistons. Okay, that's when basketball was real and good. Then we get to her friend and neighbor. His name was Ron Moulton, and he gave a story about how his wife only allowed him to go down the street to that rich black woman's house to help her. I worked for Georgetown for about a year or two, something like that, before I stopped working. I did not know that Michael Eric Dyson was a professor of sociology there. I didn't know you. He gave a good, nasty speech that would set everybody in order, child. I said, woo! Then we had Jennifer Hudson to sing Amazing Grace. Listen, I would not take away from the fact that after seeing her sing that song, that she would be a good Aretha Franklin in a biopic. I'm going to admit that, but let me tell you something. I can't, all that hollering. Listen, I almost forgot to talk about the minister that gave the eulogy. Okay, there has been some controversy around his words. But let me say this. When I heard some of the stuff that he was saying, I said, okay, I'm done. I always say that sometimes the ministers use it as an opportunity also to recruit members into their church. But it was very inappropriate for him to say that a black mother cannot raise a black boy. That was ignorant. That was actually ignorant for him to say. And you know, when I utilize the words ignorant, it's not meaning, oh, you stupid, you dumb. I look at it as a way of just you not having complete and full knowledge. The minister was wrong. He was disrespectful, and he should hold a public apology for what he said about the black mother. That's it.